Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and unfortunately we got some pretty bad news for Hearthstone confirmed by the devs, as you can see here with Korra. No cinematic for this expansion. We have confirmation of that. It was pretty obvious, it seemed like. We hadn't received one in quite some time. And yeah, we're gonna go over that, as well as it looks like there's even, in my opinion, worse news to go alongside that. There might be something we always get. Literally every expansion adventure appears to not be coming in. Just like, what has been going on with this 10-year anniversary celebration, right? Of just constant setbacks, and it feels like cutting or budget cuts from up top, and maybe we can make a difference again on it. Who knows? We'll talk about that. On a positive note, I am giving away some pre-orders from Perils in Paradise. I have 2 regular ones, 2 mega bundles out of my pocket to enter that giveaway. Like a comment in the video, link down in the description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel, and on Monday, we will announce the giveaway winners. If we happen to hit the next 1,000 subs by then, I will add another mega bundle. Hit that sub button, make me go broke. Today I was gonna upload our tier list for Perils of Paradise. That'll come tomorrow, but I really wanted to talk about this because there's a lot of talk about it and it's really been irking me. So Korra confirmed there will not be a cinematic. She kind of went into like a big thread, which I'll link down below if you want to take a look at. Basically just going over like a lot of the things they couldn't communicate. They really couldn't communicate like through not having a cinematic, and she went through like class by class and like everything they're trying to like convey in a story. They can't really without that, and kind of goes into like the lighthearted themes and how, you know, people have been wanting maybe a bit more serious. It can be jarring. Really interesting thread that I do think you should take a look at if you have the time later on. Didn't want to go deep into it because I want to talk about, yeah, no cinematic trailer. And historically, they've been, you know, some of the most loved things at Hearthstone, all these cinematic trailers over the years. But if you look back or watch like one of the most recent ones, it was awful, right? The whiz-bang one, they seemingly cut like the production on it. It just looked poor. It was actually more disliked than liked, at least according to this extension I use. They even spliced in gameplay, which they never do. Like, it was clearly half-assed or not nearly as much effort into it. And now we're outright not getting one. And I think this even launched pretty late, like well after the announcement of the set. Same with the March of the Lich King. That one came later. Again, they didn't do that one until BlizzCon. And it is something that like the songs were like really well loved from them, and those have been kind of cut back, and now we're just not getting trailers at all. We did get, I will say, did get this flight safety video with like Raffle and Pathra, who hasn't played Hearthstone in like years, but still, at least she's there. But yeah, other content creators, which was really well done. It's actually quite good. So I'm guessing that's where the budget for the trailer went to, was this. And I'll argue it's really well done. This has like 37,000 views, I guess. Well liked. It did well on Twitter. Regardless, I don't think it's too bad, right? They got Tyson Feelink in there, so that's quite nice. You know, your favorite crypto ambassador, so that was pretty good. There was a Reddit thread going over like, oh no, we got no more cinematics. So Korra kind of went in here. This very much brought back vibes of the weekly quests. If you've forgotten, which a lot of you haven't, and a lot of people still talk about it and quit over it, them making the weeklies way harder to complete for a little bit more reward. It was just awful. And I'm noticing a similar wording here. So Korra came in with here, hi, this is obviously S News. I am not Ridiculous Hat, but if you miss the cinematic with this set, I would encourage you to express that in a kind yet honest fashion. This was the same wording from Korra with the weekly quest changes back then. Like, if you don't like this, you know, or I think it was also the early access cards. Remember that from WizBanks, which is not around? They said this very wording, which to me is like, this is not a dev thing. This is purely up top, whether it's the new Hearthstone director that we know barely anything about, or since like Microsoft acquired Blizzard, it's been nothing but micromanagement, trying to cut every little cost, trying to, you know, squeeze every little XP out of everything. That seems to be the MO this year for the 10-year anniversary. And then Hat did come in here, said, please be nice to Korra and follow her advice. And then someone asked about, what about the game board? Because we haven't seen the game board. If you look at the announcement of Perils in Paradise, there's no sign of a game board. Whereas every other time the expansion's announced, say like Whiz Bang, We got the board, right? We got the cool new board. It's always featured in all the demonstrations of the new cards. And if you look, like they uploaded a video with Rarn and Day 9. Awesome to see them officially involved and brought into Blizzard. Free vacation, let's go. They're playing just on Festival Legends board. Like, that's all it's been, is like the Festival Legends board, Whizbang board. We have seen no sign of a board. And when asked about it, I replied with, hopefully this covers now. And he basically went over, childish themes are the eyes of the beholder. So I guess he was replying to the theme of the set. We sent Medivh to a disco at Karazhan. We gave Dr. Boom a huge Bill Nye set and let Kel'Thuzad run a boarding school. I think it's hard to look at the modern themes and say it's a huge departure. I will say for this theme, I just haven't felt it at all. Like, I really haven't. And I'm not someone that takes the stuff too seriously, but the vacation theme, where are the perils? What? Perils in paradise, where are the perils? I guess they're in paradise, but I don't know. It's just weird. It just hasn't really clicked. And like the mechanics of the expansion are cool. I like the artwork of the expansion. The theme, I personally haven't really been feeling. For the topic of the day, reply cinematic. We tried something new with the flight safety video. The last cinematic with Whizbang was mixed. Yeah, if you put it kindly. We wanted to include our community in a video because they're a core part of what makes Hearthstone Hearthstone. It's not a cinematic like we've had in the past. I understand that. We'll continue to evaluate as usual. Don't think we've said anything one way or another about a board. It's basically impossible for me to respond with this post without people speculating. But I'm going to focus on replying what we were talking about today. It's really weird. Had has been direct and honest about like everything all the time, and he just won't answer the question. Is there a board? Is there one going to come? I think it's pretty clear at this point. We'll probably see with the patch notes next week. There's no board. This is just another thing they're going to cut. Why? Because it doesn't make the money. Like, the scary thing is, you know, Battlegrounds, they charge for boards. Imagine they take away a board and start charging for it. But to me, if we don't get a board, that to me is more alarming than no cinematic. To me, that is more alarming even than the stupid weekly quest thing, because it's like the essence and the fun of Hearthstone. To walk into the tavern, to enter the tavern, to feel at home, load up that new expansion and get the music from that set, right? You get the music playing in the background. You get to play with all the little things on the board, try and find hidden interactions. If we're cutting that for costs, if we're cutting that from the game, you're cutting the heart out of Hearthstone. And like, what's the point, right? Like, you just can't cut the board. And it looks like they're going to actually try and do that. And it's really upset some people. And I think rightfully so, where I think I saw a thread, I will not be pre-ordering the upcoming expansion until I see a board for Perils of Paradise. I urge you to do so too. Your community is tired of the budget cuts to Hearthstone Blizzard. And yes, we are. I think it's probably a little bit, you know, extreme on the far end, but if it's holding you for pre-ordering, let them know that, right? That you can give them that feedback. I think this is an important time for people to speak up and be like, these are things that are important to us. And for me, I wasn't huge on cinematics, but there are a lot of people that are. And I think everybody loves the boards in Hearthstone. Again, it's just the heart of Hearthstone. It's just part of that tavern experience. And if they're actually going to cut that, that's crazy to me. And that does make me worry. It's legitimately one of the main things that is making me worry about the game is if we're going to make those concessions, where does it end? Because if you look, Ben Hearthstone tweeted out, Perils of Paradise, signature cards, more signatures than ever. They have done more than ever. I believe, we got, 4 rows of 6, 26 signatures. They're pumping up the cosmetics. They have the resources. It's not like they're not putting stuff in the game, but unless it makes money directly, that seems to be the only incentive rather than creating a welcoming tavern experience for everybody. And I just feel like you gotta have both things. You can charge us for stupid cosmetics and diamonds. That's fine, but don't take away the things that make the game great for everybody. And that includes cinematics, that includes boards. Don't cut corners like that, especially when you're increasing the amount of cosmetics you want people like me to buy. And at this point, it's getting really hard to justify continuing it. And even the most recent portrait they added to the shop is one I haven't bought. I'm getting very close to not being a completionist, and they are pushing and pushing, and I feel like if I crumble as a whale, I can only imagine how other people are. Well, this is literally my job. It's like a tax write-off. I have every reason to like do it, and I'm really struggling to be able to like just purchase these things anymore because they pull garbage moves like a board, the weekly XP stuff, just any of that stuff is so unnecessary and greedy and out of touch. So yeah, I would say take Core's advice. If you don't like this, put it out there, whether it's on Reddit, Twitter, my video, wherever you can. If you're going to speak with your wallet and not buy stuff, speak with your wallet and hopefully it can do something. Anyways, tune in tomorrow. We'll go over the tier list of the legendaries for Perils of Paradise. I don't think I've ever rated more S's and A's in my life. The set looks pretty crazy, and I feel like the devs and the team deserve a lot more support than cutting everything away from them. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.